All right, hey guys, now we're going to move on to another mock exam. This is the 2000 exam. We're going to be going through questions 1 through 10 in this video. All right, so question 1, the basic economic problem of all countries is the existence of what? So this is what all economies, this is what all countries are trying to do. Now, we're probably thinking like, oh, it's taxes, increases in budget deficits. No, right? Because what happened before that? Well, before that, was it unemployment and inflation? No. What happened before that? All of these issues, all of the things that we are doing are to satisfy our limited resources with our unlimited wants. That is the original problem. Because we have these things, we have unemployment, we have inflation, we have taxes. Because of the limited resources and unlimited wants, we have all of our issues, we have all of our economic problems. So anytime you see limited resources and unlimited wants, that's probably what we're going to be looking for. Number 2, assume that popcorn and movie attendants are complements and that salty concession grows corn suitable for popping. Mr. Concession will most likely sell a greater quantity of popping corn at a higher price if which of the following occurs. So looking at this, we know that popcorn and movie attendants are complements. Basically, if I'm doing more movies, I'm doing more popcorn. Now, Mr. Concession, he's the one that sells the corn for the popcorn, all right? And he wants to sell it at a higher price. How can he do that? Well, we would probably need to increase the demand for popcorn. If we have more demand for popcorn, then we could have a higher price for the corn. So which one of these basically is saying like, ooh, we're gonna have more demand for popcorn? Is it the wage of farm workers and movie theater employee increases? Well, if those increase, supply goes down, right? And then therefore you're supplying less. So we're not looking for that one because your quantity would go down. And look, he wants to sell a greater quantity. He wants to sell more. So that's going to be a demand increase because price goes up, quantity goes up. B, technological advance improves, less expensive. Well, that supply goes up, which is good. However, price goes down. So it's not going to be that one. The introduction of a new fat-free potato chip. Well, there is a substitute now, right? And if there's a brand new substitute, there's a demand increase for that one. If you're buying more potato chips, you're buying less popcorn. So it's not going to be that one. What about the release of 3 movies? Ooh, the demand for movies goes up. And if you're buying more movies, guess what? You're buying more popcorn. D. D is going to be your answer here. Number 3, in a perfectly competitive market, which of the following shifts in the supply and demand curves will definitely cause both the price and quantity to decrease? So here's how I like to solve these questions. I draw the graph, and then I look at what they want me to do. So both price and quantity decrease. So price goes down and quantity goes down. Which one of these is basically gonna make this happen? Okay, so basically, how can I get to that point there? Well, if I shift the supply curve to the left, right, then we're here. It's not shift to the left. What if we shifted to the right? Well, that puts us here. So it's not that. So we're not shifting supply. What if I shift demand to the left? There we go. See how I am now at that point where I'm at the equilibrium we want. So I'm going to be shifting the supply curve, the demand curve, to the left. E. So all I did was I looked at the question about what they're asking me to do, and they want me to do price down, quantity down. So I found where they want me to go. I put the purple dot of where we want to go. And then I just got to figure out where do we shift to make that happen. Okay. Number 4, if bologna is an inferior good, which of the following must be true? Remember, inferior good means if your income goes up, you demand less. And if your income goes down, you demand more. That's what happens with an inferior good. And the only one that says that is D. So 4 is D, because as your income goes up, you demand less. Which of the following will cause the demand curve for hamburgers to shift to the right? So when we're shifting to the right, this means we're demanding more hamburgers. Which one of these is saying we're gonna buy more hamburgers? And if you increase the price of pizza, a substitute, right? That means you're buying less pizza. And if you buy less pizza, you're buying more hamburgers. That's how substitutes work. A, okay? It's not B, because if you increase the price of French fries, do you buy more or less French fries? You buy less French fries. And because they're complements, if you buy less French fries, you buy less hamburgers. So that's not the answer. Now, you're also thinking, well, what about a decrease in the price of hamburgers? Yes, price goes down, you buy more. But is that a shift or a movement? Remember, if it's a change in price, it's a movement, and we're looking for a shift. So it has to be something other than price. So D is a movement, not a shift. Okay. Number 6, we're looking for 6 and 7. We're going to be looking at this graph right here. The vertical distance CF represents blank. So they're talking about this point here and this point. Well, what is C? Well, C is your ATC and F is your AVC. And we're all doing this at Q1. Okay. CF, that distance CF, what's in red, what's that extra distance there? That's the question. Is that the total cost of producing Q1? That's not the total cost. The total cost is actually point C. All right. The average total cost of producing Q1. The total cost is going to be the ATC times the quantity. So that would be C times Q1. That would be the total cost. The ATC of Q1 is point C. The average fixed cost. Ooh, what's that one? Remember, the average total cost is the average fixed plus the average variable. And if you know your average variable and you add your average fixed, you're going to get your total. So that distance right there, that CF, is your average fixed cost. Because your average variable is point F. So you do F plus the average fixed cost, and then that gives you the average total cost, which would be C. So that distance, that CF, is your average fixed cost. Number 7, if marginal revenue is equal to P1, all the following are true except blank. So if we are doing P1, okay, and that's our marginal revenue, and we do marginal revenue equals marginal cost, then that means we are gonna be at point C. Now, what's our quantity? Our quantity is Q1. So we're doing Q1 and look at our price. It's also equal to ATC. And if your price is equal to ATC, are you making profits? No, you are having zero economic profits. Okay, and what do we call zero economic profits? That's called a normal profit. So, if your total revenue is equal to your total cost, right, that's true, because then you're having zero profits. So that's true. It's not that one. You're producing Q1. That's true as well. You are efficient. Remember, there are two types of efficiency. There's the price equals MC, and then there's the quantity at minimum ATC. So let's see which one's true. Is your price equal to your marginal cost? Yes, because look, that's my price, that's my marginal cost. So we are efficient. And are we producing the quantity at the minimum ATC? Well, look at the bottom of the ATC, right? The bottom is at that quantity that we're doing. So yes, we are efficient. Are we earning a normal profit? Yes. Would you increase production in the long run? Well, you are in the long run. Remember, your price equals ATC is your long run equilibrium. And since you are in your long run equilibrium, you do not change your production. Number 8, which of the following perfectly describes a perfectly competitive market? Remember, perfect competition was same good, many sellers, price taker, and they have no barriers. No barriers to entry. Okay, so which one basically is saying that? Do we have many small firms doing a differentiated good? No. Do we have many small firms doing a homogeneous good? Yes. Facing significant barriers to entry? No. Remember, we have no barriers. Do we have many firms producing a homogeneous good and no significant barriers? Yep, that's the one. It's not D because that's a monopoly. And it's not a few large firms because that is going to be more like a oligopoly. Okay. Number 9, assume that a competitive industry producing a normal good is in long run equilibrium. So we know it's a competitive industry, which is just like perfect competition. So price equals demand equals marginal revenue. They produce a normal good, which means as your income goes up, your demand goes up. And it's a long run equilibrium, which means price equals ATC. So that right there, that sentence, and why I'm putting in those things that we know is just to help you translate what's going on here. As soon as you read competitive industry, you know that's price equals demand, which is also equal to marginal revenue. It's a normal good, means income goes up, demand goes up. And it's in long run equilibrium, which means price equals ATC. So let's look at the question. If your income goes down, what will happen? Well, if income goes down, demand, it's a normal good, demand goes down. All right, now if demand goes down, what happens to the price? Price will go down. If price goes down, right, then your marginal revenue goes down. And if your marginal revenue goes down, are you making more stuff or less stuff? If your marginal revenue is going down, you have to make less stuff. So quantity will go down. Now, if your marginal revenue goes down, quantity is going down, price is going down, what's happening to your profits? Your profits are decreasing. So if your profits are decreasing, are you going to have firms enter or exit? People are like, oh, I'm losing money, I'm leaving. So because you're losing money, you're going to be leaving the market. So therefore, number 9 is going to be E, because we're decreasing the price, we're decreasing the quantity, and we're exiting the market. Okay. All right, last one, number 10. Which of the following statements is true for a monopolist at a profit maximizing output level? So profit maximizing means what? MR equals MC every time. That is what profit max means. And it's a monopoly, which means we have a graph that looks like this. That's your marginal revenue. That's our marginal cost. So therefore, profit max is here, quantity. How do we find price? We go up to the demand curve. All right, so this right here is your marginal cost, and that's your price up here. So as you can see here, does your price exceed marginal revenue? Yes, because your price is up here and your marginal revenue is down here. So therefore, yes, your price does exceed marginal revenue. Your marginal cost does not exceed price because your price is more than your marginal cost. Okay, and remember, monopolies are always on the elastic part of demand. Your price does not equal marginal cost, and profit maximizing is where MR equals MC. That's not where demand is the marginal cost. Okay, so the only one that makes sense here is A. 10 is A. All right, guys, so that's all for this video right here. In the next one, I will be doing questions 11 through 20. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.